There may be a beautiful garden full of herbs and flowers that are healing and pleasant and beautiful and aromatic. Peacocks by nature don't like that. Peacocks by nature actually eat poisonous substances from the ground, hazardous substances from the ground. In fact, their beautiful tail feathers grow so illustrious and so beautiful and so colorful is a result of the poisons. So therefore, peacocks, instead of abiding in pleasure gardens, they abide in unpleasant places, poisonous plants and poisonous items they eat, yet they thrive and become even more beautiful. Bodhisattvas, or people who train in the bodhisattva mind, bodhicitta, are like peacocks. They don't look for good things for themselves. They don't look for pleasant things for themselves. They can sacrifice pleasure for themselves, and they can live among barbaric, wild, difficult, hard people, places that are filled with materialism, money, greed, pride, and be surrounded by people who are extremely selfish. Instead of these great people being brought down and depressed, they thrive. They're inspired by negativity. They're inspired by selfishness. They're inspired by materialism. They're inspired by people's anger, by their suffering, by their greed. Why are they inspired? Because the whole purpose of them to exist is to benefit others. So if they live in a pleasure garden full of Buddhas, who will they help? It's not an egocentric trip. It is compassion. So therefore, beings who are real monks, real nuns, real Dharma practitioners, even lay people, who abide among materialism in places they don't find pleasant, away from the monastery, away from the jungles, but they abide in places that people are filled with greed and anger. Like the peacock, instead of being brought down, depressed, dragged down, they thrive. They thrive among the greedy. They thrive among the selfish. They are inspired by their pain and their unhappiness. For what? To help them even more. To teach them more. To give them gifts. To give them love. To give them compassion. A sign in Buddhism, a sign of a bodhisattva, a sign of a person practicing bodhisattvahood is one that gives a lot, who is very generous without motive, who gives continuously. Why? The gift that they give you is meant to benefit you in one way or another. So therefore, like peacocks, they thrive. We spend our whole life looking for good food, good house, good clothes, good car, good entertainment, good partners, good friends, good name. The minute a little bit of pain comes, a little bit of discomfort, little bit things go wrong, we become angry. We ask why. We cannot accept it. We become distraught. We become depressed. We become extremely destabilized. Extremely. Why? That is a measure of how selfish we are. That is a true measure of how selfish we are. When we only want pleasant things, we only want pleasant things. And when anything unpleasant comes, it totally destabilizes us. It shows you how selfish we are. And this selfishness is not taken in the context that we are stuck being selfish, we're stuck being bad people, we're bad people. It means that's our training at the moment. Nothing is permanent. So when you're labeled as selfish for the moment, you don't have to be the next moment. Nothing is permanent. So we don't have to become, oh my God, I'm selfish. No wonder I'm unhappy. And then we become even more depressed because we've been told why we're depressed, right? It becomes worse. Let's take another pill. Exactly. Let's have another drink. After the Dharma talk, we go get drunk because we're even more depressed. We know what's wrong. No, that's not meant that way. It's not meant for you to become more depressed because nothing is permanent and stagnant. A toxic swamp can be cleaned out to be crystal clear waters. So what does that give us? That's the state of mind we're in, but that's the state of mind we can transform. There's hope. And that's the beauty of Dharma. If there's no hope, why learn the Dharma? You won't ever be a Buddha. Buddha is a God. He's up there. You're down here at the end. You're always down here. But that's not what the Buddha spoke. I'm up here, and you will be too. Because I was where you are, and I will teach you how to get where I am. And that's the beauty of Buddhism. Is that you can accept Buddha as a God. You can accept him as a creator, as a teacher, a creator of what? Creator of happiness. Or you can keep on the altar and just pray to him and never learn anything he says and never transform. Then nothing will happen. How many millions of Christians pray to Jesus and nothing happens? How many millions of Buddhists pray to Buddha and nothing happens? They're just as angry and unpleasant and unhappy as before they went and prayed. Because it's not a matter of praying to a God. It's a matter of listening to what these gods say and applying it and transforming. Because Buddha never said, you are there and you're stuck. I am here and you worship me. If you don't, you go to hell. He never said that. He doesn't want that. In fact, he's not even interested for you to make his images. So why do we make his images? That's a different story. Now, so therefore the Bodhisattva spends their whole life near the jungle, in the jungle of poisonous plants. Poisonous plants means what? Surrounded by people with greed, unhappiness, anger, jealousy, and they thrive. That's a sign of a bodhisattva. How can someone who cherishes themselves more than others ever be happy? That's like saying taking poisonous foods and hoping to be well and fit. Similarly, when a crow is someone that enjoys good things and avoids bad things, opposite of a peacock, tries to act so good, he will fail. That means crow is likened to an untrained mind. So when an untrained person says, A for the Dharma, I'll get more money. A for the Dharma, I'll go be famous. A to help people, I'm going to do this. Instead of helping and bringing things up, they will be dragged down because their mind is untrained. So people whose minds are untrained, they say, I will work for the Dharma. I will make money for the Dharma. I'm not going to meditate. I'm not going to attend teachings. I'm not going to do practice. I'm not going to listen to any Dharma teachers. Nothing. Because my motivation is pure. And I'm going to work for the Dharma and take this money and help the poor, help charities, help others, because that's real Dharma. Instead of becoming better, they get dragged down over time. They go away from Dharma. Why? They're like a crow. Because their mind are untrained. Instead of being pulled up, they pull themselves down. Hence, what are we saying? All people need the Dharma, need to listen to the Dharma and train their mind before they go into doing materialistic things with the Dharma motivation. So people who are well trained, their mind are under control. It is immersed in Dharma. Even they live in cities with normal people, with greed and anger and pride, they will never be affected. Never. They will never become greedy. They will never change their minds to become degenerate or harm or get thrown off the path. That's a sign their mind is well trained. Whereas a person whose mind is not well trained, their intention is good. I want to go do this and this and this for Dharma. But because they're not trained, although their intention is good, they get dragged down. In the end, they don't do any Dharma. Why? Because they do something and their mind is not trained. That's why people say, but he had good intention, she had good intention. How come when they go do that, they go away from the Dharma? Because they didn't train themselves. That is why.